Hey guys, I'm finally back after a long break, I feel like. The last video that I did was my last Vlogmas video on the 25th of December, but Lord Jesus, I was so sick when I did that video. I basically collapsed pretty much after Christmas and couldn't do anything because I was suffering from the flu. So the flu did me in for about 5 weeks, and my doctor was refusing to give me antibiotics at one point, and it just got to be really, really bad, and I wasn't getting better, and so I had to go see my specialist, and thank God my specialist got me out of, this whole mess. So here I am with my first video of 2023, which just seems so weird because I had so many plans to get my videos for the beginning of the year up and everything. But no worries, you'll get those videos. They're just coming a little bit later because of this illness. Now, my voice has been really affected by a lot of the sprays and the cortisone and the nebulizer. All of this has affected my vocal cords, so that has, been a difficulty with my voice coming back. But I feel like it's about, my voice is, it's almost about 90% back. I just can't push it too much, but it will, even, it's actually coming back slowly but surely. So today I have come to you to talk about my TBR for February for Read So Lit in particular. Read So Lit is an endeavor that I started almost like 7 years ago, and I can't believe it's still going today. It's going thanks to people like you who watch and support and participate in the Read So Lit activities that I start up. And this month, I'm going to be doing a Read So Lit read-along book as usual for February. And we'll have a special book as well for the Read So Lit book club. Now, I started Read So Lit in the beginning to spotlight particularly books by Black American writers, because at the time, and I still feel that we read more African and other novels as opposed to reading Black American novels. So I thought this would help spotlight it. And then as it grew, it became a 365, days of the year event, in which case we don't just read books, by Black authors in February. We read them all during the year, 365. So with that being said, let's get started with the books that I'll be reading for Read So Lit and for February. So the first one I'm going to talk about is this one, which is Like Trees Walking by Ravi Howard. Now, this is the Read So Lit read-along book. And this is a book that touches on modern-day lynching. It takes place in 1981 Mobile, Alabama. So I chose this book because I still feel like we need to have more discussions about some difficult things. And lynching is one of those things, especially since now we're hearing about more and more lynchings these days when people think that lynching doesn't go on anymore. So I felt like this would be a good book to help spark this conversation. So I hope that you will pick up your book and join Michael, Tatiana, and I to discuss this book at the end of February. So I will be giving you the dates and the times and all of that as we get closer to the end of the month. Okay, the next book I'll be reading is Getting Mother's Body by Suzanne Lori Parks. And this is the Read So Lit book club read for the month of February. And this is it's quite a short one, but this is sort of like a satire, a comedic. So I thought this would be something interesting for us to read. Now it says a unique and darkly comedic debut novel from Pulitzer Prize winning playwright Suzanne Lori Parks that takes us deep into the heart of 1960s Texas, a place full of dust, booze, and wild dreams. So, yeah, I think this is going to get a really good discussion from the bibliophiles over in the Read So Lit Book Club. So I can't wait for us to discuss this one. Okay, the next book I have on my list now, this is Octavia E. Butler's Wild Seed. Now, the last book that I read by Octavia E. Butler was the Dawn series. And I believe, I'm not mistaken, it was in either 2020 or 2021. I can't remember. But I absolutely love Dawn. And another book that I absolutely loved by Octavia Butler was, of course, Kindred. I mean, wow. So here is Wild Seed. Now, this is a book that was recommended to me by my friend Latrice, who is AKA Jersey Femme over on IG. She swears I'm going to love this book and wants to see what my reaction is when I read it. So I finally said, let me just kind of squeeze that in this month. So here it is. Octavia Butler, Wild Seed. Okay, the next book I have on my list is Yonder by Jabari Asim. And this is a book that came out in 2022 in January. But I don't remember hearing a peep out of this book or anybody talking about this book or anything. So I really want to read this one because I think it has something different going on in it, but I'm not really sure what that is. But I when I hear the way the different writers talk about it on the back, because on the back it is blurb by Edward P. Jones. You know, Edward P. Jones wrote The Known World. Blurb by Disha Filia, who wrote The Secret Lives of Church Ladies. And Sadiqa Johnson, who wrote Yellow Wife. Okay, so those three authors are pretty different in what the kinds of things that they write, but there are some similarities. They all really love this book. So the thing is, when the book came and I opened it up and I read what was here at the top, this is what it says. The water dancer meets the prophets in this spare, gripping, and beautifully rendered novel, exploring love and friendship among a group of enslaved Black strivers in the mid-19th century. Now, if you know me and you've been here for a minute, when you hear that, what is wrong with what they wrote on the top of this book? I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to look at the comment section and see if y'all picked it out. I'm going to read it again in case you didn't get it the first time. The water dancer meets the prophets in this spare, gripping, and beautifully rendered novel exploring love and friendship among a group of enslaved Black strivers in the mid-19th century. So what was wrong with that? That being said, this novel, I have a feeling, is going to be surprising and very good. I'm looking at the comment section to see if y'all caught it. Okay, the next book I'm going to be reading is this one right here, which is Harlem Shuffle. This is by Colson Whitehead, and you know I'm a Colson Whitehead stan. I love Colson Whitehead. So this is Colson Whitehead's detective novel. This is book 1, and this is called the Ray Carney series. Now, he has a second book to this series coming out in July, and it's called Crook Manifesto. So I want to be ready for Crook Manifesto, so I'm reading this now. This will be one of 3 detective novels that I'm kind of, detective series I'm trying to kind of, keep up with. So the first one is Easy Rawlins, which is from Walter Mosley. I am on book 5. I need to start book 5 next month from March Mystery Madness. It has 13 books in the series, I think, if not 14 maybe. But I think I only own 8 or 9. So my plan is to get back on that horse next month and see if I can, read a little bit more in the Easy Rawlins series. And the other series, detective series I'm following is Attica Locke. I think it's called the Highway 66 series. So this one, she should be working on book 3, but I have no idea when book 3 is coming out. I loved book 1 and 2, but book 2 kind of ended on a little bit of a cliffhanger. So I kind of want to see where that's going. I'm really excited about seeing where that's going. I'm just not sure when we're going to get book 3. But those are the 3 series that I'm looking forward to following and keeping up with. And this book says, to his customers and neighbors on 125th Street, Ray Carney is an upstanding salesman of reasonably priced furniture, making a decent life for himself and his family. He and his wife, Elizabeth, are expecting their 2nd child. And if her parents on Strivers Row don't approve of him or their cramped apartment across from the subway tracks, it's still home. Few people know he descends from a line of uptown hoods and crooks, and that his facade of normality has more than a few cracks in it. Cracks that are getting bigger all the time. So, yeah, I can't wait to pick this one up. And last but not least, I have Interesting Women by Andrea Lee. This is so freaking good. So this is a short story collection. And if I'm not mistaken, I counted 14 short stories in here. And I will be reading a short story a day. So I read the first one, which is called The Birthday Present. Baby. This book right here, the writing is so good. It's sexy, it's juicy, it's lively. It's just, it flows. It says so much. I feel like this one is going to be one of my favorites in this pile. Andrea Lee is a writer that a lot of people don't really know or don't really talk about very much, but she really knows how to write. The first book I read by her was Red Island House, which I read in 2021 with my podcast buddy. My podcast is Brown Girls Booking, and I do that podcast with Christy from Christy Kia on YouTube, and her name on IG is Brown Island Reader. And we had the pleasure of interviewing Andrea Lee talking about Red Island House. And oh my God, she's fantastic. Her writing is just so rich. So this one, I can't wait to get back to. I have a feeling, yeah, it's going to be my favorite. So these are all of the books that I'm going to be reading this month. Read So Lit has the photo challenge, which I will be linking places below where you can look at the grid for the photo challenge. One of the places it's going to be is on my blog, but you can also find it, of course, on my pages on IG, which are Brown Girl Reading and Read So Lit. We also are having the Read So Lit roll, where I invite content creators, Black content creators, over on IG to participate by taking one day to post in their stories about either a Black American author or a book or something around Black Americans and reading. So if you're interested in that, I highly recommend you go over, you check out my grid, which I'll put here. This is a Read So Lit roll grid, which happens in the stories. So you have here the content creators each day, and you go to that content creators page and you'll see what they post for the day. Now, this is the Read So Lit photo challenge grid, which is in black and white. So with all of that, we're going to be busy. There may be some other videos during the month. Keeping in mind, like Trees for Walking will only have a discussion at the end of the month. If you join the Read So Lit Book Club on Patreon, this has a mid-month discussion and an end-of-the-month discussion. And there may be just other fun videos along the way. If you're on IG, you can catch me every Friday, 6 p.m. CET, which is France time. And over there, that's called Friday Reads. It's where I talk about what I'm reading and we talk about what we're reading. People come to the comment section and we all have a chat about what we're reading and we talk about other things. So if you're interested in that, I say come on over, because this month it's going to be under the sign of Read So Lit. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that's all I have for you today. Thanks so much for sticking with me and coming back to watch this video. I would love to hear what you're reading, and I want to hear your comment on yonder. What was wrong with that description? And yeah, let's talk and let me know how you feeling about Read So Lit and what are you going to be reading and who you're following and what you're doing. Stay tuned for another video really soon. And my next video is going to be my top reads of 2022. So I will see you real soon. Bye.